إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد في قوله سبحانه وتعالى فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. Surah Al-Nahl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referring us to the people of knowledge when we don't know. Seeking knowledge is an obligation, as we know. To know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you, the obligations that He has obligated upon us, is a must on everyone to know it. But there are certain things that not everyone can know without going deep in it. And sometimes you know and you forget. And sometimes you haven't heard at all. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you and me, when you don't know, know. And how you know? Ask people who knows. Even if you ask people who know and they give you a fatwa wrong, you're not blamed. The point is, don't act without knowledge. Don't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala based on your own mind, or I heard someone doing this, or this is how I learned it. You are commanded to do it right. Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. This is the command. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, pray the way you saw me pray. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum saw him how he prays. And they heard him what he says. And he told them what it means. And copy that. So you do the same thing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah is telling us people of knowledge are the one who is carrying this religion until the day of judgment. They continue to carry that, and you are to be referred to them when you don't know. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam كذلك قال فهلا إذا جهلتم سألتم فإنما شفاء العي السؤال. Why don't you, when you don't know, ask someone who knows? The cure for ignorance is to ask. And this hadith has a story where it caused the death of one Sahabi simply because he asked, and the Sahabi told him that there is no permission. He has to do it in such a way, and when he did it, he died. So the Prophet ﷺ is basically telling the companions and us, why did you tell him that when you don't know? Why didn't you ask someone who knows? And we say the same thing. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, when he talked about the levels of knowledge, maratib al-ilm, he said the first one is husn al-su'al. How good not only to ask, but to ask good. Make sure your question is clear, and make sure that you explain the circumstances, because you're going to receive an answer based on your question. I may give you an answer for your question that you run and you tell another person, this is what he told me, it's the same to you. No, it's not the same to him. It may differ depending on the circumstances. So when you ask it properly, you get the good answer. Based on your question, the answer comes from people of knowledge. So husn al-su'al, make sure you ask it good. And also, ask. You hear a lecture, you don't know something, why don't you ask? Why don't you understand? And that's the next level. Look at this. The second one, حسن الاستماع والإنصات. You may be hearing me now, but you're not really paying attention or listening, where you understand what I'm listening, talking, or even understanding it. So husn, you want to listen. The day of judgment, when the blow of the trumpet comes, Prophet ﷺ said that you listen litan litan. Yani you raise, like you heard a voice, a sound, and you just want to make sure that this is the right sound. You tilt your head and you go like this with your ear to make sure that you heard it, attracting the attention. So husn al-istima' wa husn al-insat, you do that. And one of the Salaf said that a person, by the way, this is a major problem that we have, is people don't listen. And if they listen, they're not really paying attention. One of the Salaf said, إِنَّ الرَّجُلَ لَيَتَكَلَّمُ مَعِي عن مسألة أو عن قصة فأصغي إليه كأني أسمعها أول مرة وقد سمعتها قبل أن يولد. Yeah, a person comes and tells me a story. I listen to him attentively as if this is the first time I'm hearing it, and I heard it before he was born. Yani too old. Yet respect and attentiveness to that person. That is when you already know. Imagine if you don't know and people don't do that. You'll be talking to the person, he's waiting to speak rather than listen. So husn al-istima' wal-insat, husn al-fahm. Do you understand what you heard? If you did not, then you need to ask. Most of the lectures and most of the talks, when someone says any questions, nobody raises his hand, as if it is a shame for someone to ask a question and say, I don't understand something. Husn al-fahm. Now, husn al-hifz. You need to memorize what you heard. You attentively heard it, you understood it, you memorized it. And then husn al-ta'lim. Now you memorized it, you need to teach it. You need to pass it on to someone. One of the righteous predecessors used to go home after he hears the hadith. He used to go home and say it to his slave. And he's talking and she's walking away and not paying attention. He said, Wallahi, I know you don't care, but I have to say it to someone so I can keep it. What does that mean? It means if you have the knowledge, if you don't teach it, you lose it. This is the sadaqah, the charity of ilm is to pass it, just like your money. If you don't give the charity, it will diminish and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take it away from you. And now you have done all of this, you have to act upon it. What you learn, you put it in yourself, being a role model, being someone who is learning, understanding, teaching, and applying. And by the way, if you don't pay attention, you will never learn. And if you never learn, by paying attention, you will never be able to teach or to talk. They say, speak so I know you. When you open your mouth, people easily can tell if you have knowledge or not, if you're prepared or not. A lot of people just jump and start speaking and thinking they're doing good. Yeah, you may be doing good to someone who doesn't know, but someone who knows what knowledge is all about, he knows if you're prepared or you're just coming a word from here or a word from there. Listening is the key, and you need to do that. من لم يسمع لم يقل. Repeat it. من لم يسمع لم يقل. If you did not hear, how can you speak it? You have to hear it, understand it, memorize it, teach it, and apply it. And I conclude with, that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, نَضَّرَ اللَّهُ امْرَأً سَمِعَ مَقَالَتِي فَفَهِمَهَا فَحَفِظَهَا فَوَعَاهَا فَبَلَّغَهَا فَرُبَّ مُبَلَّغٍ أَوْعَى مِنْ سَامِعٍ أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Prophet ﷺ made a wonderful dua for a person who hears the word, understands it, memorizes it, and passes it on to the other people, even if it is بَلِّغُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ. Even if it's one hadith or one ayah, do that. So the key for all this, inshallah, seek knowledge, ask when you don't know, and pay attention to the speaker. It's respect, and this is how you gain the knowledge. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.